So many conferences, I think it became an important thing for us to maybe discuss quickly before we get started with the amazing sessions that we have today. So, hi and welcome everyone to SecConf 2021. Let me briefly touch upon the theme that we have for the conference, which is Build Security In. This has sort of been a motto for us here at Thoughtworks and also something that we believe in. This generally means to build security into the application or product or software that we develop rather than as an external component or a test that comes towards the end of the product lifecycle or rather than around it. As we all know, technology is advancing fast, really fast, and brings with itself many choices. This evolution includes new languages and tech stacks, new data storage paradigms, for example, data lakes or the much talked about and used and performant key value stores that most of the developers don't seem to get their hands off today. The frameworks, new techniques, especially the ones around virtual reality like AR and VR, and also the much talked about artificial intelligence, data engineering, machine learning. A lot of these things which are being embedded today into software and devices that we use and will not be a surprise if they start guessing our thoughts very soon. Not only that, we are shifting our software supply chains, more and more of us, from the more manually controlled on-prem systems or networks to fully automated cloud native environments, and the question of security and the shared responsibility model, making it a little more confusing as we go forward. On the other side, on the attack side of things, there are new vulnerabilities coming up every day, and the frequency is increasing by the day. And it'll not be a surprise that it will be increasing exponentially very soon, with a lot of researchers and experts coming together, looking more closely into product and code and discovering more exploits. With many of these technologies evolving, it's become very important and necessary for both offensive and defensive security communities to understand each other's perspectives, their constraints, and know what we are all made of so that we can do our job better. SecConf is a way to bring both these communities together and closer so that we all may learn from each other regardless of where we are on our journey to secure these systems. Because at the end of the day, both the communities are working towards securing systems. At SecConf, we intend to provide a platform for security enthusiasts to share their opinions, learnings, experiences with the wider security community, focusing on some key areas which are very relevant today, especially to the modern development environment, such as cloud security, language security, or in general tech stack security, security in the evolving infrastructure space where new components keep adding up every day, securing components with overwhelming set of dependencies among them. And as many of us know, today the bulk of any software is made of these dependencies, some of them directly visible, some of them invisible in the sense that many of them are transitive dependencies, and there are many of them which are also vulnerable. So how do we manage that? And the imminent need for automation in the security practices. And this is not just for defensive security, also for offensive. While we build these various layers of security, we are looking forward to the key stakeholders from both these sides to be the primary participants of this conference, including, but not limited to, development teams, assessment teams, leaders who define security for their organizations or who structure security for their enterprises, to people pioneering security technologies and products to come together to make more robust security and products, and to understand how we are solving some of these most difficult challenges or problems today in the security space and learn from each other. So, the goal is essentially to have that meaningful conversation and collaboration that can pave the way for optimizing and resolving security issues, not only in silos or in individual teams or in small businesses, but at scale. Scale being the major factor that we will keep coming back to even in the future editions of this conference. And hence, as we look at the future of security, we expect SecConf to be the platform that facilitates this active interaction of security researchers and practitioners, developers and hackers alike, especially those who are working on core aspects of new technology and components, while meeting the challenges of inculcating security into complex systems and environments that we have in the industry today. In this first edition of SecConf, we have brought together security leaders with rich backgrounds and experiences to talk about security implementations that they may have been a part of for years, threats, attacks, and best practices needed to effectively thwart these attacks on systems, assets, or supply chains. They will share their insights about building the layers of security in these sophisticated development contexts that many of us have today in the industry and share their best learnings from their experiences. So, without further ado, let's get started.